works
Oh,
well.
I see. Right.
I beat you in today.
Yeah.
Welcome. All I got a little bit of big news, a big bit of little news. We've got some fun stuff to share. So I'm glad everyone is tuning in. We'll give people a minute or two to join up. We've got a few good tidbits to go over today, and an exciting new tech announcement and a new product announcement, something that's been launched. So some of you may have already noticed. Don't spoil it for everybody else. And some info on next steps in League City. It's exciting stuff there. Nav, were you able to grab some just some
Yes, I
screenshots?
did. Yep, for sure. I can share
And
some high water screenshots here in the chat. Just give me 1 second.
cool, yeah, no, I don't have to do it right away, but that's cool. That'll be neat. What was I going to jump into? I was going to share that. Bring it over here. I'm going to try to share my screen today. I was going to try to share my. Actually, I could do that with the world viewer as well. I'm going to close all those tabs. Okay, we're probably getting close to max. We're at 231. I'm going to do this too because people haven't all seen that. And I'm going to jump out of this. Okay, let's dig into our agenda for today. So on our agenda for today, we have just launched campaigns within the app. So go check it out. It's live. It's under the flights tab of both the app and the Explorer. Oh yeah, look at the high water there, Brandon. Checking the chat out here. Quick question for Nav. Nav, we'll let you get to that. It's not impossible. We are at about 2.8 centimeters, so not too much different. Campaigns. Let's go straight into a screen share. We're gonna go full risk on.
Okay. Let's do
Watch
it.
this. We're going full risk on this afternoon. Click on my name, share your screen. I'm going to share this. Code is requesting permission. Allow. I'm going to share that screen. Has everybody got it? We're full risk on. So mine only works in Canada, and there's only a little bit of stuff live in Canada right now, but from the Vernon area. But what's new and live? Let me know if this is showing up for. Oh, the stream is still running. Okay, let me just pause that. If you go here to the little drone, and this is the flights tab, and this is the same in the app, and click flights available, you'll now see different campaigns. So missions are now grouped as campaigns. You can see how much of them is complete. You can see the total rewards and what's remaining available. And if you click on them, it's going to jump you right to where they are and outline them and show you the nearest missions to you, or the missions in that campaign. What's available, how far it is from you. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then the zone. So that is available now in the app. A little bit more in the US, but it's a nice way to be able to quickly navigate between different capture areas on the map instead of just sort of zooming out and having to scroll around and look for it. You can jump right into that. So I hope that I only see Canadian ones because I'm a Canadian pilot. If you're American, you'll see American ones as more show up in League City, etc. As we expand, you'll be able to see those and jump to them quickly. You'll also now be able to input your state, I think, information or maybe city information, and then you'll be able to order these. Your flight history is still here, all of the flights you've done. You'll be able to reorder these by, I think, highest value and or closest in proximity. So you'll get notifications when new campaigns are launched. You'll be able to set a parameter distance. I want to hear about campaigns, 50 miles from me, 100 miles from me, 200 miles from me, and then you'll get notified when those campaigns launch in the area you've indicated. So that's pretty cool. We're very excited about that. Some more features being added to it slowly, but we're happy that it's live and it's working and it's going to be part of notifications. And it's been a long time coming. The imagery Nav's showing you, did this come over with me? Yeah, it did. Cool. This is for anyone who hasn't spent much time or seen this before. This is the Spexy World Viewer, one of the derivative products we offer. And so those images Nav is pulling from, and Mason just told me the ortho got in here just today.
Yeah, ortho did got in.
So if I drop those
if you zoom in, you could see it. Yeah, there you go.
That is the flooding ortho. You can see the river fill. I'm going to be at that zoom level. So if you turn that off, you can see where the river is supposed to be in the satellite imagery, and you can see how it was at high water or just pre-high water. I think that's the bridge you're looking at now, right there.
That is correct. Yeah.
And so pretty cool. Thank you to Joe. Shout out to Joe for getting out there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Joe, two other pilots. Sorry, I don't have the names off the top of my head, but two other pilots actually did the mapping flights. These are soccer fields right here. So yeah, your soccer pitches, and you got your soccer pitches covered in water. So interesting. So Squid and Happy are both saying they're nuts. Maybe a hard refresh or a cache clear, guys. This feature was just launched. So not sure if you're looking on the app or on the Explorer, but either way, maybe a hard refresh required, or shut everything down and restart it, and then let us know if you do see it. And then obviously the panos here populate over top of that, and this is what Nav's showing. So this was Joe out there 3 days in a row, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, capturing this water rise. So you see some pretty incredible footage from that and imagery from that. It was really valuable. We were having that in same day. Joe was awesome. He was getting out in the morning, getting that imagery captured, and by midday we had that imagery provided to all sorts of people who were monitoring that event, that flooding event. And so we're going to go back out and do a post just to assess change and damage and erosion and all sorts of things, probably late this weekend or early next week as the water recedes. That was a pretty good one over here. That was an interesting visual where, yeah, I think it was. Oh, that's the park. Yeah, that's all supposed to be a park. It's all covered with water. But you were able to see the historical time lapse of this stuff in the viewer. So on the 8th, it was a park, and by the 11th, it was a pond. So pretty cool. That was part of that initiative, and that got featured and spoken about at the Esri user conference in California this week. Nav, do you have a link to the plenary sessions that was shared? We were featured, and we received the #2 coolest new feature in the Esri ecosystem. So
yeah, let me find that link.
Pilots to everybody, because that was really cool on their sort of their opening day, their opening session and talk. They count down the top 10 most exciting things in their ecosystem, and we were offered we were awarded, we were slotted in at #2, the second most exciting thing in their ecosystem. Which I imagine leaves you asking what was #1, and it was a mapillary feature with user generated data. So it was kind of ours also user generated data by you guys as pilots. So it was kind of a parallel thing, ground-based data that they had in there. So really cool seeing that crowdsourced imagery and crowdsourced data. I see some comments. I'm going to stop sharing. I see some comments about not being able to see it yet, so we'll definitely look into that and try to make sure it is live. Yeah, make sure you're clicking that flights tab. All right, Nav, let's continue to League City, programmatic capture. We have selected our first project area that is going to come up for recurring capture in League City. It is 71 missions, at least to begin with. And so I want to caveat this with some areas will grow, some areas will get added, some areas will shrink as we define what change is happening on the ground. But I'm hopeful for a launch this weekend, possibly as early as tomorrow. Latest would be Monday, of 71 missions in the south central part of League City over a major master plan community development. Those will, or portions of those will refresh monthly going forward, at least until the end of, I think, Q4. So till the end of the year. So small, I know, but it's cool, and we're going to keep adding more locations in short order throughout next week. We've identified a number of projects, about 8 different projects happening in League City, different construction projects, development projects, areas of high rates of change, and we're going to be dropping missions down over those. We're going to have some daily recaptures. So if you're in the League City area, there's going to be some smaller ones that go out every day. There's going to be some larger ones that go out bi-weekly, monthly, stuff like that. So this is, as we've discussed, our first programmatic capture sort of sandbox for us to define and build that whole process and understand the value proposition, put it in front of clients. Marketing is working on some really cool freemium sort of free access sandbox areas that you guys will be able to play with. That should be live early August. So a couple weeks away from being able to go in to request data from different addresses to see what comes out, what you can get, recency, history. That'll allow people to start, hopefully, building cool tools, doing value-added stuff, and that includes pilots, includes any user that wants to sign up and do that. So I'm excited for that. Nav's excited for that because it's been a long time coming, as far as we're concerned. Just getting this data out into the hands of people that can do cool and creative and valuable things with it. So look forward to early August. I'm not going to say the day that they've targeted for us yet because those have a tendency to move. And that's the only reason. Brando was a huge success. Player number 2. Okay, I've gone through the big picture stuff. Nav tech update came out this morning.
Right, so version 2.8.2 is live, and guys, please update your Spexy apps to the latest version via Google Play stores to have the best experience and not experience anything otherwise. But yeah, we did introduce a drone health check this time, where the app would basically assess and let you know if something's wrong with the drone. We also guided more clearer UI for the US flights for lands and guidance regarding it. Campaign updates are live, which seems is not working for a lot of pilots, so we'll look into that. But on the back end, that feature is now live. Other than that, we did some basic improvements and updates to the features and the UI. But yeah, pretty standard. Other than the campaign updates, which is I think is very valuable, and it would provide a lot more value eventually for many pilots on the network. But yeah, we'll look into exactly why you guys are not able to see it. And I think that's for the app updates. Regarding the bug, the flight execution bug, which is now also happening in Canada for some pilots, it seems that we're still blocked by DJI on a fix on that, but our team is actively looking at the moment to find another workaround, which we haven't yet. But hang tight, and the current workaround is to uh, launch with your DJI Fly app and then quit the DJI Fly app and switch to Spexy app, which is, I know, painful, and it also consumes a little bit of battery and time. So we're trying to figure out another workaround which can help in the stopgap as a stopgap in the middle. But yeah, mainly we're blocked by DJI. So hopefully we get something from DJI eventually, and we can deploy the fix. But yeah, that's for tech update.
Beauty. Awesome. I am excited for this campaigns thing. I am pinging Stella because she's supposed to remind me. I don't know how, I know on the new user onboarding flow, when the new user signs up, it has the modal for like requesting and setting up your location. I don't know how existing pilots are supposed to do that. So Nav, if you have any insight into that, remind me. And if not, we'll get that in front of you guys so existing pilots can make that
Right.
make that update for the notifications. We'll get clarity
Right.
on that portion of it. Demand missions. Calgary came and went like that. I love those guys in Calgary. They go so fast. There were 2 that were flagged that needed to be high altitude. And when I say I love those guys in Calgary, I mean the pilots that fly those so quickly, and I mean the team at the city of Calgary that's ordering those. They really get the value proposition of Spexy, and they're utilizing it, leveraging it the way we want them to, and they're pushing for a larger Alberta Hamlet collection, getting stuff from all over Alberta. So we're really excited to keep that moving forward. Thanks to Evan and his bro who captured the majority of those missions in White Rock. I know there are a couple left over top of the CBSA outpost, and totally understand the hesitancy to fly over Border Patrol outpost. And I think we got most of what we need. We're going to take that to the client. So appreciate that. We had Missouri. James is on site there today. Thank you, James, for making your way out there. Still looking for pilot in Pensacola. That's a recurring one if we can get someone in that area. So if you know anyone in the Florida Panhandle that might be interested, there's a set of $100 a week. That'll be a weekly recurring. $108 I think we got on that. So if somebody's nearby, it's a pretty good little gig that could show up. Thank you to Implicit Donkey for grabbing Reading. And then on the demand front, The only other one in the pipeline, right? San Francisco, back in the pipeline with about, I think about 30 missions coming in city of San Francisco. So if that's on your uh, places to go list, those are incoming. And programmatic, we're gonna, as I mentioned, we're really gonna get into League City here, and you're gonna start to see some recurring and regular cadence on different project areas and different areas of change, and we're gonna evaluate that change, and they'll shift and move. So be patient with us. But I'm really excited to announce that monthly cadence on those 70 missions. I'm going to be I'm pushing hard to bring to you guys some biweekly and even daily missions in League City. And that's I guess I just want to speak top down to that or bottom up. I'm not sure which way you you build the pyramid, but what we're doing in League City and what we're learning from it, we're building a process that we can then replicate in other cities. And we've also been asked to identify the next 10 capture areas that will follow League City and follow that model. So I know it feels light right now. It feels like there's not a ton, but we're going to go start with League City. We're going to have programmatic, recurring, and then we're going to add another city and add another city and add another city. And on top of that, we've got these conversations happening, as I was discussing with the Esris and the Googles and the Niantics and the real large scale that are going to put out these big batches, things like we had in LA, things like we've done in San Francisco. So lots of irons in the fire. Sales team was all week at the Esri user conference. They've been telling us how much action and attention they're getting after being featured in that plenary session on day one, hour one, literally like the opening speech of the session. We were called out, so they've had a great conference, and we're excited to see the fruits of that in the coming days and weeks. Invite sent to Paul. Oh, I see what I'm looking at. Matt just jumped in. Matt, anything you want to add to programmatic capture? I can dump you on the spot, or you can just be like, nope, you nailed it.
Yeah, nope, you nailed it. You actually nailed what I was going to say. So yeah, that's great.
I stole his thunder. Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. I was in the audience, so I heard it all.
Awesome. Good. I've still got a note here as always. If you want to grab some of the RP only missions to build up your reservation points, if you don't have as many as you'd like for when missions come to your area, if you're looking at, if you're in the Texas area and you're looking at League City and you want to build up some reservations so you can head towards League City, grab those RP only missions. They come with 3 sets. They come with single pano, hybrid, and grid mapping, just so you can test them out. But if you want to rack up some quick reservations, you can just run the single panos. They're easy. They take a minute or 2 each, and you start building those RP up and being able to reserve. So that's our current stopgap and a way for you to build up that RP and build up the experience so you can do more reservations. But conversely, you may just want to try some of the other mission types or grab that data and throw it into a splatting tool if that's something that you're doing. Exciting stuff on that front with some of the partners. Paul didn't jump on stage, so I can't put anything on him, but he's working on a sandbox tool as well. So
Yep,
which
is quite amazing.
Well, it's cool right now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't wait to
very exciting. Yep.
I'm jumping into the chat. We're open for questions. We've got 10 minutes left. When for SF, says Duncan. I think maybe as early as tomorrow. They're in with the planning team right now, just confirming locations and altitudes. It's some of the dunes again and things like that. So some of it's refresh stuff that was done. It's been done a couple times in the past, and a few of them are brand new. Eagle Mountain. Yeah, there was some good stuff in Eagle Mountain. That was a great where it's one of the biggest orthos I think we're gonna have ever produced, and that's gonna be processed. So it's pretty neat. Evan, yeah, thanks for getting out there, Evan. That was awesome. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, someone's saying they're gonna get arrested. Really, Roger?
Cheetah wants somebody to be arrested.
arrested?
Cheetah wants somebody to be arrested.
Lightyear League City is going to get, it's not the whole city. So I just want to be real clear. So if anyone didn't catch that, what's happening in League City is we got a base map of the whole municipality. And we use that along with some other data sources and signals to identify areas that have a high rate of change. So new developments, infrastructure projects, new roadways, utility corridors that are being adjusted or changed. So we've identified about 15 projects, but about 6 to 8 of them are really active. And so what we're doing is taking those projects, defining the project area within within the SpecC application in terms of hexagons. Then we're going to launch those on different capture cadences depending on how active they are. So you can imagine a new community being built. Some of them might have a lot of activity in this area, but not in that area right now because it's phased. There's all sorts of reasons that we'll be refreshing. And so it takes a little bit of time to look at each project, make a decision about how much to capture on what cadence. The first one is 70 zones in South Central League City that will be coming up monthly through, I believe, the end of the year, but at least the next couple of months. Then as we look at that, we receive that input, we see that data, we see what's changing. It may shift a little bit. We might go, hey, all the activity is happening in the north end of that, not in the south. We're going to slow the cadence on the south, increase the cadence on the north, etc. So it's hard to give exactly what's going to happen over the next 6 months because obviously that's going to change. But what I really am pushing for with our team internally is to give you as pilots as much notice and as much recurring cadence as we can, and also a good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish and why, so that there's context and it makes sense. It's not like why was that 70 last month and now it's only 40? Well, it's probably because we took 30 and put them on another project, or we did something else bi-weekly. That's the context of how those are happening and what we're trying to test and build in League City that we can then replicate in other cities in other parts of the country. Oh, I see. That was Nav. Response, ArcNet. Hey, ArcNet. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I love when people
Long time.
pop back. I love when people pop back in, man. It's one of my favorite things about the community is people come and go and they say hey and then they get busy with life and then they're back, and it's great. And I love the conversations that happen and the sharing of knowledge in the chat. Sometimes I pop in and see something that people have shared about different areas, or there was some chatter about low flying helicopters this week, which was great because it was a reminder that I think it was when the Blackhawks buzzed the beach there. I wonder how many drones had to scoot out of the way last second. It was all over the news in the U.S. during the 4th of July. So what's going on deployments? Yeah, great stuff. That is a wrap for us. If you have questions, if something wasn't clear, throw in the chat now, or if you have a question that comes up afterwards and you're like, wait a sec, what is that like? But what I'll tell you is activity in League City is about to ramp up. League goes live again, Duncan, maybe as early as tomorrow with those 70. Maybe I'll just now. What do you think? Can we commit to tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or should we commit to Sunday?
Well, we could commit to the next 3 days if we I think.
Well, let's commit to within the next 3 days here. There's just a little bit of touching up on that, and we got to get it in. And if you guys want a little bit of notice, we would push it to Sunday. So
yeah.
Next couple days in League City. Tomorrow, I hope for SF. I know those are right through planning. So with regards to the 10 cities, they haven't even been defined, Squid. So that's a great question. And our mandate as an operations team has been to decide how those cities get defined, what makes a valuable city. So as you can imagine, I mean, League City, a lot went into picking League City. Part of it was size and cost, but part of it was that it's outskirts of Houston or outskirts of a major metro. It had a lot of change happening. So there's lots of development happening, lots of growth. There was a bit of a dearth. So some of the normal data sets that cities or municipalities had weren't fresh or updated. So from a value perspective and a business perspective, it makes sense to collect areas that maybe have less or older data. So what we've been tasked with is trying to figure out how to define what's a good city, what's a valuable city, what will customers pay for, and then, select those cities, rank them. So I can't say if one's going to be in the Northeast right now, because we have to figure out what the parameters are that make it's a Q3 directive, Chris. So ETA is before the end of Q3 to have them picked, not to have them flying. They'll start to iterate out over the next several months. But to have those cities picked and ranked is part of our quarterly mandate. So, and then that'll be informed by how League City goes and how much we capture and how much we can sell, honestly, of League City. Yeah, League City's growing like crazy. There's about
Crazy.
7 developments and master plan communities and stuff being built and changed and roadways going in, and that's a real big piece of what we think the value proposition of Spexy is for customers and for programmatic capture as a whole. Yeah, I mean, Chris has hit the nail on the head. The data has to go both directions, and we really appreciate you guys being here through this journey. We spent, a year and a half. You spent a year and a half collecting data and filling the archives of what Spexy is, and getting us these partnerships with Niantic and with Esri and with with Google now in talks. So really cool stuff, and showing the value of standardized aerial imagery. Right, all the same, all across a data layer of drone imagery, right? As opposed to the historical sort of ad hoc nature of the business, we developed the first ever. You and us developed the first ever standardized drone imagery layer, and it was the only way to get partners like Esri and Niantic to go, hey, we can do, we can do this as a network. We can provide data all over the country, all over North America, that looks the same, that can feed a process and a system, and that can that can interact uniformly across your entire business. And so we've gotten to that step, and now getting those partnerships rolling and getting the cash in the door is the is the next step, and getting the real volume, right? It's a volume play, and so now we've got to get that volume. And I know I've mentioned in the past that balance of a two-sided network is supply demand, and so we're sitting in that teeter-totter right now. And you guys crushed it. First half crushed, and it's now in our hands to crush the second half and to bring the demand and to fill this network with opportunity. All right, I am going to start winding it down there. Thank you all for taking the time on a Thursday afternoon, evening. If there are more questions, I felt like I talked a lot today, so hopefully we can make this a little more dynamic.
You talk too fast. Too fast.
I talk too fast?
Today, yes.
Today. Okay.
Well, that was great, Graham.
I will consider cadence more in the future. A little slower, stretch it out. But I want to call out Brandon one last time before we go, man. What a cool project, and what a valuable project. And it's my understanding that that data is going to make its way in front of the Canadian Prime Minister before the end of the summer, and that what's being worked towards is a large scale Canadian capture in partnership with Esri. So slow moving, but really neat, and just interesting to be a part of. And I know that a couple of those pilots are in the audience here, so thank you one last time. And a pat on the back to everyone who made that happen.
Yep, thank you all pilots to make it happen.
We'll call it there, gents. Thanks to everyone, and we will catch you in the chats, or we will catch you here next week. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel, I think is what they say.
All right. Thank you all.